When you first become a manager, it can be really exciting, and it can also kind of feel scary. It's a big shift in responsibility and a lot of new things that you may or may not have ever done before. But even if you've been managing a team for years, it can still be hard. And there can still be a lot of fear that is keeping you from showing up the way that your team members deserve. So today we are going to dive into some common fears that hold managers back from showing up as their best self. Welcome to the Modern Manager. I am Amy Camphor Stewart, and every week I share tips and strategies to help you be a rockstar manager with a thriving team. Now, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Fear number one is the fear of not being liked. This one is so common. I hear it from so many managers that they really want their team members to like them. This makes you show up in ways where you're afraid to set boundaries or to say no or to confront someone and give some feedback because you're afraid that they're going to take it the wrong way. You don't want to come across as aggressive or controlling, so you keep things a little more vague and you stay a little more hands-off. Maybe you over-accommodate or you avoid conflict or you just do things to kind of keep people feeling happy. But here's the truth. People want to work for a boss that they respect. That means that you need to be clear about expectations, set and hold to your boundaries, and have the hard conversations. Because if you don't, people might think you're nice, but that doesn't mean that you're a boss that they like working for. Fear number two is fear of conflict. You might be thinking that if you raise an issue, it's just going to blow things up and make everything worse. Or if you give someone that tough feedback that they are going to get really upset and angry, and it's going to be really hard to calm them down or deal with the emotional backlash. So instead, you avoid the conversation, you let things slide, or maybe you bring it up in a light touch kind of way and just hope for the best. But eventually, those little things, those unspoken things, they turn into resentment and ultimately some serious dysfunction. Healthy conflict is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. And it's your job as a manager to lean into that in a productive way. Remember, feedback is a form of care. It's a gift you're giving your team members to help them grow. And unfortunately, staying silent can lead to more damage than actually having a dialogue. Fear number three is the fear of being seen as incompetent. You don't want anyone to think that you don't know what you're doing, that you don't have the answers. And so if you ask for help, that's a signal that you didn't really know what you were doing. Or if you say, I don't know, then somehow you're going to lose credibility and no one's going to trust you anymore. And this might lead you to hesitate when delegating, to hold on to too much stuff, and to just get burned out. But here's the thing. No one expects you to have all the answers or to be able to do everything or to never need help. Vulnerability builds trust. We know this from so much research. And when you're willing to admit to your team that you don't know or that you need help, they will celebrate that because they know that you're human too. They want honesty and they want to see that you are taking steps to grow and learn just like everyone else. Fear number four is fear of failure. You might have this story running through your brain that if you fail, then it's bad for your whole team. Or if your team fails, then it's going to be really bad for the organization. And so you just can't let anything fail because it's just going to look bad on you and it's going to look bad on your team and it's going to be bad for everyone. Or maybe it's more like, I can't rock the boat. I don't want to change anything because if I take a risk and it doesn't pan out, or I try something new for a system that maybe wasn't broken before, people are going to get upset that it didn't work out. So instead of taking risks, being creative and innovative, you hold back. You keep things in steady state and you avoid doing anything that might fail. The problem is that you end up just sticking with good enough because you're too afraid to mess up. But success often requires us to be creative, to push the boundaries, to experiment and try new things, to give our team members opportunities to do things that they might not be so great at yet, but they need an opportunity to grow and potentially fail in the process. So we need to shift from fear of failure and seeing it as a terrible thing that we should have prevented into an opportunity for growth and learning. So instead of fearing failure, we want to acknowledge the risks and move forward anyways. And then if things don't go to plan, learn from it. Use it as an opportunity to get better in the future. Fear number five is fear of delegating. I hear this one all the time. So many excuses for why we don't delegate. It's just going to take them so much longer. I should just do it myself. It's not worth trying to teach them how to do it because I'm so much faster. And if I give it to them and they do it wrong, I'm just going to have to redo it anyways. Or my team members are so busy. I don't want to pile something else on them. No one has time to do this. I should just do it myself. The problem with this is that delegation is an essential part of being a manager. And if you hold on to everything, what you're really doing is holding yourself and your team back. You're not freeing up your time for your more important work. And you're not giving your team members opportunities to try new things, to learn new skills, to gain new responsibilities. Delegation does not need to be difficult or scary. It just needs some preparation and good follow through. And if you want some extra support with learning how to get past your fears of delegation, you can check out my video on delegation strategies in the show notes below. Fear number 6 is prioritizing yourself. You think that as a manager, you have to be available all the time to your team. That if you protect any time by blocking it off for deep work, by not answering emails during that time or not responding to Slack messages, that somehow you're letting your team down. Or that if you go on vacation for a week, that somehow things are going to fall apart if you're not there. But taking time for self-care or carving out time on your calendar and protecting it for deep work that you need to get done, those are important strategies to avoid burnout. And you need to be role modeling these for your team. Because if they see you working at all hours of the night, if you are responding to their Slack messages within 5 minutes, that creates an energy and an expectation that they should be doing the same thing. And that's not healthy for anyone. So set yourself some boundaries and communicate them to your team. Fear number 7 is the fear of firing someone or letting them go. It can feel like such a failure when you hired the wrong person and they're not succeeding in the role and you have to fire them. Or maybe you've inherited someone on the team and they're just not up to the place where they need to be. And it just feels awful to be taking their livelihood away. But the longer you keep a team member on the team who isn't the right person, the worse it gets for everyone involved. Sometimes the most compassionate choice is to make the hard one. Once you've done everything you can do to make sure this person's aware of the things they need to change, has the support and guidance to make those changes, and it's still not cutting it, then it's time to let them go. So if any of these fears hit home for you, and I know a few of them still do for me, that's okay. You're not alone. Becoming a manager is not about having no fear and eliminating all the scary parts of the job. It's about being aware of the things that hold you back so that you can start to implement strategies and take steps to get past those fears, or at least manage them so that you can really truly show up as the best manager for your team. And I know, because I've seen it with my clients, that when you do the work and you take those steps, you can truly show up as the manager that your team deserves. Now, for more resources on how to be a rockstar manager with a thriving team, check out my website, themodernmanager.com. And while you're here, make sure you hit subscribe and check out my latest video.